Kleiner, but you know, sacrifices are made for the greater good.
Hey, Jen, can you hear us?
Change.
Yes, I can,
Oh, there she is.
but I can't see you.
We can't
Now
hear her.
I can see you.
We can't hear you just yet. Hang on one second.
All right, can you hear us, Jen? Can you hear
Yes,
us?
yes, yes.
Excellent. And
We can hear you.
and see you. And you can see us.
Yes, that is entirely too much of me on that screen.
There you go.
Oh, you're happy.
All right, hold on. You have now all gone silent.
So, Jen, we are expecting Darvin, oh, I'm sorry, no, John Menzie to dial in. He's going to be remote tonight, so just please be on the lookout for him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Not everyone is the same.
Yep.
Because she has charged.
Yeah, about 1, 2, 3.
No, I think.
They're actually, they're pretty impressive.
They are.
Yeah. Want to go real far?
But she's going to go.
In the winter.
It's a struggle. You know, find, especially now, it's all church place yet.
Right.
For the winter.
If you know where they are.
Well, we found when she parked at our, there was a thing and she parked. And there's an app there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you where the next one is.
I'm just gonna say if something's on it, it doesn't tell you if there's.
If they have an agreement with the
Slow
super
down.
Tesla
Yeah.
superchargers, that helps.
Yeah.
Because I know that network
It
is
says
their own,
Springs.
you know.
And I'm like, oh,
But
yeah.
they have
that's
their own
close
plugs.
by.
They have, you know, they're kind of like Apple and there, but I think the DOE is pushing that to adopt it figures.
Yep, standard, that makes sense.
That's when they had.
All right. 7:01. Let's get cracking. Let's do the pledge. Pete, would you like to lead us? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty. All right. So, just thinking about the agenda and where we are in the project, where we are in the process. My mind's at it. Talked to Chris, I don't know, a few days ago. Well, emailed with Chris a few days ago, And he said he's now turning his attention to the summary or the assessments. So he's starting to dive in. And doing so, he sent me that Fairport's presentation. And so he was harkening back to the conversation we had when he was in town in the April, sometime in April. And that's kind of thought to myself, okay, well, we've got a few milestones, a few dates coming up that we need to start talking through some logistics and what we want to do. That Fairport's presentation was not to be used exclusively, but some items in it that we could use for our own public workshops. And so thinking back to what we talked about in the public workshops, one in July and one in August. So 7/18 and 8/15, and pencil those in as TBD pending planning and zoning meetings. So I think we're going to try to piggyback off of those meetings. I think that was the intention. Those two sessions we penciled in. So Chris gave us some fodder to put together our own presentations, if you will, for the public to kind of get them up to speed. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that and what we want to do. Also Rory says he will be here, but will be late, just does not know how late they'll be. So he'll be here as well. So I want to talk through the tentative zoning information public sessions. Now, this isn't the public workshop where we solicit all the feedback. This is more like an FAQ Q&A kind of, here's a primer of what zoning is and what, maybe to dispel some misconceptions. So that's for us to talk through. The other ones that are farther out in the future would be the public workshop. Now, we talked last time about having, was it 10/10 and 10/17? So 10/10 will work for Chris. And so that's penciled in right now, as I gave Chris the thumbs up that was one of those options that we green-lighted last time. So Chris said he can do 10/10. The prior two ones in end of September is no go because he didn't check his calendar at the time, but he'll be in Europe at that time. And then we also have 11/7, November 7th, as the tabletop exercise where we'll take a scenario with the new zoning process that Chris will help us with and put it through our system and kind of kick the tires and give a scenario and run it through the process to see what you guys would do with it, Rory and Anna and the two respective boards do with it, and see how we like it, and what works, what doesn't, what's clunky, what's, give some feedback there. And so those are the meetings I'd like to talk through. Any other other topics we should also discuss?
My own thing is we didn't finish the post office thing.
Yeah, we didn't get through all of the last section, right?
Right.
Okay. We can certainly do that.
Saying that's the only other thing that we left open, right?
Yeah.
Chris has started to go through the gap analysis, that spreadsheet. He asked if there was a summation or a readout that he could look at. So no, we just didn't get to that. We didn't have folks and we just didn't plan for that. But I did say that we will expect to provide him even a lot more feedback. Once we start getting the red lines back and forth, we can add things we don't like, we change things we don't like, we add things we don't see, but expect a lot of red lines to occur back and forth. But if it makes sense for everybody, we can spend some time today finishing up that last section, and I can just tell Chris, hey, we've added more info to that last section to the gap spreadsheet. Just please consider that. But I think right now Chris is looking to do that diagnosis. I think he's in the weeds right there on that.
Well, it's promised for the end of this month, right?
Yes.
Okay. So he hasn't been participating in the second meeting of each month. Will he be
Good question.
joining
Let me
us?
I can make that note to ask.
I kind of expected it would happen in May and he didn't show, and we haven't seen him since early April.
I don't think some of those we didn't have. That's why I
It's-
still we didn't show. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I don't think we would.
Yeah,
That's.
yeah. And I think it's important that if he's gonna roll something out at the next meeting, he needs to be, certainly I'd like to see him here.
Well, I don't know.
in person,
I don't know if
But he needs to keep the commitment for the schedule. He was gonna be at every second meeting.
he plans on rolling it out at the next meeting, because the next meeting is on the 20th. And if the deliverable is due at the end of the month, he could certainly take that other week to do it. So I don't know. Let me ask him. He will certainly not be here in person, but due to budget, he probably will be back. He will be back here. I just don't know when. He does not want to make a commitment for driving out for just regular meetings. But I will ask him if he intends to, when does he intend to have that? And will he show up to the next meeting?
Will he be here for the zoning information public meetings?
I'm not sure, but I know that when we talked about it, that would be on us to facilitate for,
I think that's what we talked.
yeah,
Actual.
Yeah.
Public.
public workshop and the table, possibly the tabletop, like I can confirm.
I think we put it in the timeline. Like we're plugging in that bag.
Yeah, hang on, let me bring it up.
Okay.
I don't see his attendance isn't here,
No,
but,
that's the actual one.
oh, yeah, no, that's all there, 11/7 zoning info sessions. The dates that I mentioned before there.
Yeah, he said he would do it over, get on. Whether it wasn't gonna come, set them to the budget.
Good questions. Any other topics that we would like to discuss as a group?
Just two, the date for the public workshop and the date for the tabletop exercise. Assuming they're, well, the first one is a public meeting, I'm assuming the second one would be also.
Correct.
Those are Thursdays prior to long weekends. So just to flag that for people, if that makes a difference for anybody's schedule.
I think
or for
it
the
was TBD
community to participate.
pending planning and zoning meetings. We're gonna try to align with any pending zoning.
For the public information.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I think Maryland's talking
I'm
about the
talking-
workshop, which is right before Columbus Day weekend.
10:10,
Oh,
and I'm talking
okay.
about 11/17, excuse me, 11/7.
oh, got it.
Those are both targeted public meetings, just so everybody's aware. They're Thursday night meetings and it's before a long weekend. So, I mean, just so everybody knows, if we have you have a conflict. If there's something going on at the school, if there's something happening in the community, we will have a well turnout.
Yeah, that's a good call out, Maryland, but I'm not sure. If we need the room and,
No,
I'm not sure there's much we can do.
just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
And the only other thing is I have along the way since early April been listing a number of people who are interested in getting notifications about the public workshop in October.
Excellent.
So,
I'm glad to hear that because a big part of these dates I want to talk about is communication/awareness and then like prep of who's doing what and what are we actually going to do. So I think those are the two big things. If we think back to comprehensive plan, we spend a good chunk of time talking about like how we're going to get the word out and
Yeah,
things like that.
and we did it through a few different avenues.
We did.
We had, I think Ellen put together some actual press releases for us.
and then when she retired, I took over the
Okay.
rest of that. We're mainly Saratoga today.
Okay.
So that's really our main
Okay.
vehicle, unless you want to go through the village's official news outlets.
Which we probably want to do.
Absolutely,
Yeah, I
and
think
then
it's a
some.
great
I
idea.
think I'd like to kind of brainstorm because to Marilyn's point before, it would behoove us to get the word out.
Susan.
It's like I remember printing off flyers and sticking them to garbage cans downtown and things like that, just to get the word out. And I heard, oh, the turnout was pretty good for
We
it.
did have the
Yeah,
workshop.
I think that's our benchmark. It's not as,
So expensive, those little signs that Saratoga put in when they talk about a ZBA meeting, and they put them out for the public notice,
Right.
those wouldn't be bad either. for very expensive, right?
Well, they're $12 at States.
What about the village maybe just sending out an index card with the dates on to every resident?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think that's the way to go.
When do we send the water things going out already?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
Sitting in my mailbox.
The building go out.
Right, the bill didn't go out, neither did the water report for the water quality report that comes from.
So I think if we can get, we have one date definite, we don't have the second date, right?
Well, these are both the 7/18 and 7/18 and 8/15 are TBDs,
But
pending
No,
planning and
that's
zoning.
about the
meetings.
workshop.
yeah,
Oh, the workshop. Oh, yes, the 10/10.
10-10.
I see them as all three as. Well, I see all three as public meetings that we should. If we're gonna advertise one, we should advertise all.
Yes, I agree. So 10-10, 10-17, and 11-7, is that the three?
Yeah.
7/18, 8/15,
Oh, no, okay, we're
10/10.
talking about-
Yeah. For me, yes, for me.
11/7, I mean,
No, no,
it's not really for the public's.
No, she's saying different meetings though. So 7-18, 8-16,
8/15,
8-15, 10-10.
yes.
And 11-7.
11/7, there's not a lot of public, it's not for public
Right.
awareness. They can be here, absolutely. But therefore zoning and planning to walk through the new process with a use case to see what works, what doesn't, and get Chris's feedback on. It'll be a public forum, but I don't like having a room full of people that that's not gonna,
It's not cool system.
no, makes no sense.
So if we can get this information to the village, then put in one of those cards and everybody will.
However, but first. I have a note here on 7/18 and 8/15 TBD pending planning and zoning meetings. So I think Rory or Anna, somebody last time said, well, let's see what's on the agenda. We may have a meeting, we may not. So I don't know how you guys work those meetings, but I think we penciled those dates in to be somewhere around there. You guys may or may
Are
not be.
these Thursdays?
I don't know.
Are these Thursdays these days, right?
No, it's
No,
whatever those.
because they're on the dates of the ZBA and planning board.
That's a 7/18 is a Thursday.
Yeah, so we wouldn't have no,
No.
no, we wouldn't have no meeting that day.
No, that had something to do with, taking these, some of the forms are planning for those.
Then like y'all would.
No.
Right, no, I'm just.
Tabletop
thinking of that,
8/7 or 11/7. That's like.
To let people.
Yeah, but
know
wasn't
that
that's why one of those on board meeting, so they wanted to take an actual, something that was going on. Put it against the potential new zoning.
I think we moved out the tabletop because Chris wanted feedback from the public first.
Right.
And so he wanted to have 10/10 public workshop and then the 11/7 tabletop with Rory and Anna and the planning zoning. And if I recall that meeting, we stacked up. We wanted to have public input to the workshops. I'm sorry, information sessions in July and August
Right.
before the public workshop in October, just to educate the folks a little.
So I understood.
And that would actually help our feedback from those guys. It would be more efficient meeting on 10/10
So you'd have
for the
to
feedback from the public in this case.
with those dates.
So let's talk about 7/18. That was the first one, and 8/15 is the second one. First things first, can we confirm those dates?
I'll be in Los Angeles. I can't do it.
I'll be out of town too.
I'll be in Ireland too.
I mean, they're gonna be Zoom meetings, correct?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it'll be a standard meeting just with a well, I don't know.
Some people will
Well,
dial
I
in.
mean, I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it,
What's that?
Not that she's on vacation. Oh, I'm working.
Oh, well, all
But I'm
right.
not even in Ireland,
so I'm gonna see where I am on 8/15.
I'm going with you.
I mean, these are meetings that are held by the planning board and the SBA.
so
They're public meetings.
yeah, I think this
They
is where
cannot be on Zoom.
the question is though,
Here.
they don't have to be on Zoom, and I don't think they always are on Zoom, but also. The dates, that 7/18 and 8/15 day,
Well,
those are
our dates.
Thursdays, they're our dates, they're not ZBA or.
Yeah, they
planning
are.
board.
Actually, they are. You're right. They are. our dates.
They were our days.
So if we are gonna piggyback with ZBA or planning board,
No,
They're here.
well, not the planning and zoning are not.
Well, I think the intent was to have planning / and or zoning facilitate these public information sessions using a slide deck that the points within the slide deck that Chris provided, Rick can come up their own for the public's benefit. That was what was talked about.
So I'm very confused now because Peter said these are not our meetings.
It is, they
They
are.
are our meetings.
they're
No
not.
confusion, they are our meetings.
zoning.
Oh.
Our meeting.
Then the
Hey, Roy.
concept has changed since the last meeting.
That, I-
we
No.
we
No.
we talked last meeting about. Using existing, if they have meetings in July and August.
That's why they're
using
TBD.
Existing
Okay.
ZBA or planning board meetings.
So I believe Rory and Angus said they want to check the agenda to see if there's enough items for an agenda if to meet. So I think we just penciled in lieu of that, we penciled in our meetings around those same time.
Okay. But there's still meetings that we're conducting, we're setting the agenda
Already said that.
based on our consultant.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have them here. Because.
So the question is,
Is available and we've reserved it.
yes, all that.
Okay,
So the question is, okay, so if we are comfortable with 7:18 and 8:15. I know we have some vacations up in there, but these are public information sessions. We need to know. When we get a commitment from somebody to facilitate these meetings. And then as a group, we need to brainstorm about awareness, marketing, getting the word out, that kind of thing. So those are the two pieces I see. If we can lock in a venue, date and time, we need somebody to actually conduct it. There's a subject matter expert.
that's our consultant.
Well,
He's not gonna do it. We talked about it last time when it was here, that it's on us to educate our own public.
Educationals, right?
Yeah. And these are just educational meetings for public, if we all recall.
Well, getting the word out, I think we should have the village just do an index card, just with our information, and out to every resident.
and I agree, Pete. I think if we can.
Anything else is
Yeah.
highly inexpensive, just put someone, make us up, put the dates on it and let everybody, but then there's no excuse for everybody's.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
I think we should just choose the 18th and the 15th. If we already have the space here, we have it at 7 o'clock.
It's no brainer.
Yeah, so we do it here. And then, hopefully y'all don't have to do 2 meetings. But that way we just know we have it. We can actually advertise and
And so
affect it.
we put in RSVP so we know approximately how many people are gonna fit in the room, is we have enough room?
no. I would just call the meeting, whoever shows up,
And that first phase, too many people show up.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay.
July and August,
I'm kind of with you on that.
people are gonna be at the track, people are gonna be on vacation. And this is a very short lead time.
We'll get the loud minority to show up. basically.
So, and you're not gonna have a slide deck that has this many slides. You're gonna have,
Okay.
10 or 15 slides. They're gonna be very basic about what the foundation for zoning is. And then that's it.
And we'll ask them to show up on 10:10 to provide their input when Chris, our consultant's in.
Exactly.
So that said, Anna and Rory. Sure you haven't looked at the slide deck yet, but it's been passed around. So. We need somebody to take point on, I can help put the material together, but I am not a subject matter expert. I cannot deliver this information.
Something, or something like very, very simple, like
This is the slide.
planning 101.
Yeah.
And zoning 101, you know what I mean?
Right.
If Matt set that out today, that was very simple, very easy to understand, take 15, 20 pages out of there. Even more, and just use, that's what I would use, or just wanna educate.
All three of us, I can scribe or whatever, I can get it together.
You can take lead on this pipe then.
It's very basic, and the goal is, again, just, I think we talked about last time. Just enough so the feedback from the public on 10:10 is a little more informed. That would help us in the long term if we can educate the public as much as possible.
Right.
So it's open to the whole zone. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're talking about how we get the word out of like,
Right. I don't disagree with that. One thing that occurred to me is, why consider breaking the village up into different areas? Right, and if we're gonna do these meetings on these dates, let's say from 6 to 7, it's the north end. And from 7 to 8, it's this area. Because each of the areas in this village, if you really think about it, have different concerns and different interests in zoning. It would be, I think, more efficient, effective for us if we were to do something.
I don't think there are good enough people for this section.
I don't know.
What if we,
And it's not really to engage the public, it's try to give them basic
no,
information.
oh, I
Very
see, I see.
The
basic.
workshop. would.
The
make
workshop in
benefit.
October
Yeah.
is going to be a breakout. Yeah.
information on this basic stuff for everybody.
Yeah.
But it'd be great, Rory, at that public information session to, you know, for us to make sure we communicate that to the public clearly, like, we have this workshop coming up on the 10th, talk to your neighbors. Invite your neighbors to come with you because we want to make sure every neighborhood has an opportunity to voice.
We should do something like that. So
We have a table set up.
With the comp plan, yeah.
So the one that they
The
want to,
north end is one, or Little North is somewhere else, Hyde Boulevard is yet another home rule, and so on and so on, so. It just seems to me that if we got everybody to, understand that they should call Chevron and talk to us, I think it would be better.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree 100%, right, but the first one, I'm just
Right, fine.
really simple,
Yeah.
do something with that.
Zoning 101,
But
Ann and I could be involved.
I went through that twice, that was really,
What was?
what he sent out.
Oh,
was-
yeah.
Was so basic, but very easy to understand. I mean, I think it was.
And at Mike's point, kind of keep it focused on the topics at hand, not every single gripe and complaint.
Correct,
That's
that's
not
right.
gonna help us. That will not help us.
it's not even, the information we're giving them isn't an open, right? It's like, this is,
It's tailored.
Yeah,
We
if
can
you
make,
have
we
a
can,
break,
we can
bring
deliver
it-
that message.
this is what it can do, and bring it with you on the set.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there will be a venue for your grievances. Your First Amendment will be heard on the 10th of October.
See, so
Till then,
just less funny.
yes, agreed. But Roy, to your point, I do like that.
Wow.
We have to think about how we're going to do that. Right now, we have one date.
Just gonna take one hour.
And we could break up in different camps and we can do a divide and conquer. We can go out and collect a feedback, something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could even.
That's what we did at the top.
That's right, that's right.
Each member of the committee
Right.
sat with a different group. And we took notes and helped then present what the feedback was, which I think would make sense again here.
And I believe Chris will be here as well to help herd cats as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be here.
So our objective, and then from this document. Edit it down.
He said we can use it, but we can't copy it because that's someone else's town or whatever. But yeah,
Are you
exactly.
gonna do the same presentation both days? I mean, you're gonna change it all? I mean, there's no.
The same thing.
You would
It's
imagine,
the same thing, right?
because what you wouldn't show up if I was, I would show up twice.
No. So
Same
you,
session.
so on the card, you just, there's these two.
Same
things,
repeat of
either
the-
or,
Yeah.
and then the main one, the 10-10 is the most important, is the workshop.
So I will reach out to Frank on this. So what do you call these things? Just like note cards or
Index, postcards,
postcards,
right?
mailing cards?
They send out the water bill on.
But I just hear you saying that we're paying this guy, but we can't use the information he provides us.
It's not his either,
If you
right?
just sent us a copy saying something like this would be useful.
Well, a lot of this is about as basic as it gets.
And I think we
That's
can.
what we need,
Yeah.
So we-
just
yeah.
basics.
Nothing.
Rory,
Yeah.
Rory, it's 101, it's 100 planning and zoning, it's so simple.
100
So
series
many
at freshman
people
level.
Didn't know, and I'd be the first to admit 6 years ago, I would never known anything about that. So it is helpful.
I just was concerned about the statement that we have it, but we can't use it.
Oh.
No, well, he did, Chris say,
We
you know,
can't copyright.
That's not his,
verbatim, 'cause
yeah,
it's
that's
not-
not his work. He borrowed that.
he says
from
take
a
points from
comic.
this and make your own base.
That's what we can't use. That's what we can't use.
I bet if it were his content, he'd say, plagiarize away.
Yeah.
Can you imagine showing up there, see a airport, someone.
Just take some of the stuff.
That's not the
Just
right.
take some of the stuff, Photoshop the bottom of the Fairport Park stuff and you just put in,
Right, because we don't even need 40 pays off.
no. Most of it was really good though, I'm telling you, it was very, very good, yeah. I was shocked.
Yep.
I think if you just take all the Fairport out of there, and crop it out, they're all set.
Or even copy it and paste it around to other slides, they do that.
Yeah, I can certainly help with
Same.
PowerPoint
I
stuff.
spend a lot
Matt,
of
if you just,
like my day job.
you just crop that Fairpoint out.
I do training and development.
The Village of a Friend stuff. Yeah.
Really.
I'd like to say.
I reviewed a few.
That is awesome. Excited.
I get to talk to people.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's-
Well, they don't like it. Training and involvement.
I reviewed a few executive readouts today, so that's
Accountants
what I do.
need a little help sometimes. Structured education, they're very good at what they do, but helping them teach others
Delivery?
how to do what they do.
Different
Yeah,
story.
Yeah.
Ones and zeros, okay. A's and B's. All right, all right, mailing, so, all right, so Rory. Anna,
Then we need this 5 minutes.
that's my next one. Jared, to,
It's fine. Come down to the dealership.
Draft.
Hang out.
What's this? Slide deck.
Yeah.
By,
Go hang out.
Right.
7:18.
Well, I think the best way to do it is, you know. Which is that you want to use crop out there and stuff and that's it.
well, the reality is, I would say if we get it to where you guys are happy with it by the 12th. There's always gonna be back and last minute edits, so if you just wanna shoot for the objective, of having it done by 7/12. And then that'll give us a few days to. Do whatever.
To make a quick bars.
Boston spots, yeah.
Let's make.
Fires, fry.
Sorry.
Village event.
All right, so I will reach out to the mayor about advertising on those cards for 7/8, 8/15, and 10/10 dates.
7/18,
I'm sorry, 7/18. I forgot the one. 7/18, 8/15, and 10/10.
10, and 11/7.
And
Do we want to do 11/7? That's just a normal part of our.
Just.
It's a regular meeting like this.
dates.
Regular meeting like this. Yeah.
But
No, we don't need to tell them about it.
why not?
Then we should tell them about this meeting and every other meeting.
Really?
And I'm more than happy to put a press release about each and every meeting. It's not a problem.
Okay.
But
Sure.
You know,
I don't have a problem with that.
we're relying on the village's social media to let people know about the meeting. So,
But the 11/7 meeting is something for, it's like a working meeting for us. We need to work through it. I fail to see why we would need 50 people sitting behind us while we're trying to work through something. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I don't think it's about a need though. I think if somebody wanted to come.
But they just like they can come tonight.
Well, and to Maryland's point, I think having more public awareness that we are meeting, right?
How about
would
this?
also be-
I'll add a line. For these 3 dates, and I will say that Zach meets on a regular basis, find our meeting schedule on the village website, just like that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Because it lists all of ours, with the exception of the
July.
July 4th date.
It's still on there.
So with that, with the exception of that, so they can go and if they can see all of they can see the whole schedule.
Yeah.
I think that's. Fair. Including. Where to find our full meeting. Schedule. Okay. Cool. Is that the only avenue we want to advertise?
Well,
Do we want to do something in our official newspaper also?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to put something together.
I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
I'm not so sold on just having those postcards go out. I think we need to just, if there's a Facebook post or is there a village Facebook? I don't have Facebook on it. Can't stand it.
That's an interesting question to raise. I don't know. if
I know the mayor
there's-
does.
The mayor has
Oh, there-
Facebook.
yeah,
There isn't,
it's-
I think the village has an official Facebook account that doesn't get used,
Okay,
but
Yeah,
Frank.
except for the notification for the trustees meetings, but that we could say, put that on there. Here are these 4 meetings that are coming up, mark your calendar.
for businesses. This particular. That's.
Plus that, but
Shop.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why we don't do.
yeah.
Most times, that instance,
that's Frank.
yeah, I would. Just. If you do it for nothing, then.
Yeah. Does anybody remember how we got those posters out, well, not even posters, but they were like just pieces of paper posted everywhere. What was that?
That was part
Mechanism.
of the contract that our last consultant
Wow.
did for us, because they were responsible for public participation. So we need to look at the current contract that we have with Chris to see what his deliverables were and
Yep.
ask him to follow through on that. You know, he's got a team and we're not using that team to the fullest of their ability.
Well, I don't know yet. We'll check the statement of work.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't say that go that far. Because relatively, this is a small contract for them. So we have to provide,
it doesn't matter.
it does,
It doesn't matter.
it does.
It
'Cause
was a
If we,
little
if we
bit-
want to burn up on this,
Well, no.
then we're not gonna have enough room.
They're
And
the
it's not a, it's not a cost, it's not time as material.
Yeah, I don't think
What
we
is time
should
scale?
be telling people, oh, you know, they can't do this because the contract's slow. They bid the contract the way they wanted to bid the contract, so that's not.
And they're gonna, based on what they want to do.
But if we
That's how-
said you had to do a certain deliverable and he's agreed to do the deliverable, let's not renegotiate what he's supposed to give us.
No,
And
like
if
I said,
public
I'll look at the
participation-
statement of work, see what his obligation is, and go from there.
I think that's fair.
I don't know that we asked.
I don't think you did.
I don't think so either, but I'll check.
That's not in the contract.
I'll check.
Participation is his ability to engage the public on that October 10th meeting. And that's definitely in that contract.
But the devil's in the details below that.
Yeah.
Of advertising and getting the word out. I don't think that's in the contract.
It's,
Yeah.
Pretty sure,
There's nothing about advertising.
pretty sure. But I'll follow up. I'll send the statement of work. I'll talk to Chris. Three stuff. But in the meantime, I'll follow up with the mayor on cards, Facebook posts.
Sorry,
Okay.
Maryland, does Saratoga today, do they do that digitally as well as in a?
Yeah. they basically do it digitally and they do print media. We can do it two ways. We can put it on their calendar, which is not very convenient, but we can also get them to do an article, a special interest article about what we're doing.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
And that will give us more advanced time, but you know what? 7/18 is like, you know, we're getting close to their deadline for when they would have to do something like that.
Right.
So whoever wants to be the key contact person to be interviewed, I'll set that up. That's not a problem. But if they have a very strict schedule and, you know, we're getting close to that.
What's that? What about the community calendar on the second?
Yeah, that's very, that,
No, for this.
Saratoga.
village,
Oh,
the village does work with a local TV station. That I know has been mentioned on Frank's social media. That he's been engaging them as part of an overall village-wide effort. So you, okay, I'm just telling you, because I.
no, I'm like interested. I'm like, this is great. Keep
So
talking.
what
I
you
mean,
need to do is reach out to whoever that, it's either WNYT. But whoever that is, because he continues to mention that person, thanks to, you know, so-and-so for promoting blah, blah, blah.
Okay,
Reach out to that person, cultivate that human interest
yes, I'll
story.
follow up. That's a good idea.
And that's more immediate, and then people will know about the July 18th
Yeah.
meeting.
Saratoga today.
Yeah.
I'm happy to, if you want to reach out to them, I'm happy to get the word out any way I can.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do a very traditional press release like I did last time, or if when after she retired. Very generic one.
Yep.
Contact information, mention the dates. And then leave it at that. And send it to you to route it to the committee to basically say yay or nay, or add whatever needs to be added to it.
I would say, if everybody's okay, just run with it. You've done it for comprehensive plan. But I would say those three dates, and then the fourth piece is for all other public dates, go to the village website and give the link there.
Yes, that sounds good.
I'm good with that too. So then we don't move anything else.
That, yeah, I think that makes sense. And Marilyn, you suggested that they would interview Matt, so Would that be something beyond this press release?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or whatever
It's
engagement,
called-
I don't,
It's a more immediate thing, you know, put the press release out, the press release would be sent to whoever that media rep is that the mayor is using. And then in addition to Saratoga
Yeah.
Today, and then addition to that, then that generates a contact. Someone comes to interview
sure,
and
sure.
says, oh, you know, how long has this committee been in effect? You know,
Yeah,
what's the time?
Yeah, it's another,
All the
just another
particulars, so.
piece of article out.
As long as you're in town, that should work.
Yep, that works. So I'll also ask the mayor on Facebook posts, any other areas that advertise. Also, if he has a contact at a TV station. Marilyn, you get the press release out. I'll also ask the mayor about. Mailings or postcards. Very similar to what the press release would do. Any other avenues of, besides getting a megaphone and staying on top of Bath Street?
I just said to Marilyn, is the community, on Spectrum News 9.
Yeah.
Have the community board that all their commercials, they go through the calendar and they have dates of various things happening all over the capital district.
Okay,
I think you just, like, I think if you just go into their website
Yes.
and insert your information, and then it shows up on scroll. It's probably not the best way, but it's just another
And
avenue.
you're trying
Yeah.
to launch the CDs. For advertising. Yeah.
is that something, Marilyn, you do after the press release? Would it make sense to have a press release first and then follow the Spectrum News Community Board or whatever?
Yeah, just,
Community calendar,
standardize the name of these actual meetings. And then anybody, any member of the committee could go in on Spectrum and put it on. And for that matter, each TV station has a similar community calendar thing.
okay.
I just see it.
Not every,
Should I put your name next to Spectrum News or no?
Sure, I'll do it.
yeah, right.
Okay. I'm sorry, Rory, what were you about to say?
I'm gonna say, and I'm not sure if the funding work, but I believe the water bills are going down.
It's in my inbox.
So that's.
Yeah, the bills
We just
don't
send
go
that list.
out
It'll be too late.
for 2 months.
Right.
They'll send the card in, but the bills don't go out for 2 months, so.
Yeah, that kind of misses.
Miss both meetings.
Yeah.
You have to do a.
We
separate
could probably get a
bills for-
revision for the 10th. Awareness letter can go out for the community. Not info sessions, but the workshop of 10th on that note. It would help us for these 2 info sessions. All right. Marilyn to reach out. That to stand by. Okay. What about ESPA, right? EPA?
Yeah, I think it's good that we get them too, sure. Well, they can put in their newsletter.
In the past, the poster that was created by EHAN did go through.
Yeah.
ESBPA's weekly email blast. So. It wouldn't be tough to put a poster together. Because anybody could do it. And basically you could have the dates there and we could just say to Dana, do this, for the village. Because this is a village thing. So you could say, just put one poster together and put the dates on there.
We also, for the comp plan. Set up a table at the ice cream social. Which
Right.
will be too late for some of
Yes.
this, but we do have movies in the park coming up. I think there's one this Friday, there's one tomorrow, that's probably too early for us, but if we could just have like one person there with. Flyers, just to say like, public meetings, we put, on the 10th, information sessions on the 18th, the 15th, that might be another great way to reach people. Who are engaged and involved in the community, right?
Not only the village and ESBPA, but the community bulletin board.
Jen has a question.
Yeah, Jen has a question.
Don't forget, you have Thursdays
Jen.
and Saturdays for the farmer's market.
Yeah,
Which
and the
is
farmers
all
market
summer
too,
long,
yeah.
which would give you the opportunity to do it in piecemeal. Hey, the next meeting is about this. Hey, the next meeting is about this. That way you can hit people for every conversation you want to have. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, no, thanks, Jen.
Thursdays and Fridays, Saturdays?
Thursdays and Saturdays.
I think they're Forces Office, Press Association has a table there in those days. So leave the flyers up and just.
And put them on a table.
Right, somebody get to work.
Hey, what's that?
It's too.
I know.
All right, do we have, so I'll follow up with Darvin to see if he can engage BPA, see how we can get them in their flyer.
And the community bulletin board, which is right on Front Street,
Yeah.
would be another one to put something in. And
Yep,
the
okay.
library, oh yes, there is another one in Mill, which is just right around the corner from Coffee Planet. And the library is also very helpful because I use them for the garden club, plant sales and the geranium sales. And they have a little plexiglass holder. They'll put them on that round table at the top of the stairs.
Just about the big digital question, but they've done in the past, man. But they just.
Turn off the, turn off.
Right, yeah, so
That I don't.
Do I have any takers to help with the ice cream social and farmers market canvassing? Or awareness campaign, I should say.
I can try to put a flyer together tomorrow
For,
for this, just for the dates, for like
oh,
10,
okay,
10 public workshop, 7:18, 8:15. Public information sessions. And I think we were gonna try to go to the movie tomorrow, if it's not raining.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can bring them with me then, and
when-
I'll be there and leave any that if we have to leave early or something, and bring extras to our next meeting so that somebody else. Whoever's up next. Yeah, Friday, Saturdays, so.
I'm all for you. Got something.
What do I have going on?
This actually don't seem bad in meeting tonight.
I'm just trying to write down for my own information here.
I could do that.
All right, get my stuff. All right, okay, I'm feeling good about this. So we have dates and venues for the 2 info sessions. Rory and Anna will put together with help of myself and Jared, put together a presentation by the, was it the 12th, whenever I said it,
Yep.
some on my notes. We talked at length about getting the word out. So Marilyn's got some things, I've got some things, Jared has some things, Margaret, you have a thing. I'll reach out to Darvin, get these word out on the 3 dates, plus where they can find all of our open meetings, rest of the open meetings. Are there any other angles or elements or items we need to talk about the public info sessions? 7:18 and 8:15.
I would just suggest calling them zoning 101
Yeah,
as the generic topic,
Yes,
to standardize that.
yep. Yeah, something like
Information.
information, yeah, I want to qualify it because the 10-10 will be positioned as more of a collaborative, interactive with the public type meeting. I want to make it
represented by Lori.
Yeah,
so zoning 101 informational meetings.
Public information meetings, or just information?
Yeah, say something like this is to help
good jazz.
educate the public prior to our,
Well, that's what, yeah, like what I envision on the flyer is. Come help the village
Yeah.
plan for the future, zoning 101 meetings on 7:18 and 8:15. Attend one to prepare for. Public workshop on October
Yeah.
10th.
Right.
We want to hear from you on what your issues are and what you want to see in the future.
Yeah, we'll do a test.
Right.
Did you get all that?
Let's see, I'll listen to the recording.
okay,
Will, do you know, Marilyn, for the 10th, could we get from 7 to 9 here? Because I think
6:30 to 8:30 here.
on the 10th.
Every meeting.
Oh, every meeting.
Every
Okay, yeah.
meeting, because we need time to set up, we need time to clean up.
break down.
Yeah, and I sent everybody a reply all.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah.
ever have a door
I
that's
saw that,
locked,
those good.
Greg Stevens is the person to call. I mean, the custodian.
Any
is
relation?
new. Huh?
Any relation?
No, Stevens.
Oh,
and Stevens'
Stevens.
son.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Close.
No,
A distant cousin.
He's basically in charge
Okay.
of this space, and he's a village resident, so
Um,
he can come down and unlock if there's a screw.
do we want some more time for
I
that
think we
workshop
need more
though?
time.
Cause I don't think we want to start at 6:30. I think we still want to start at 7 though.
Yeah.
7, 8:30?
So I guess 7 to 8:30.
Or 9.
But if we could have
Just
7
say
to
7.
9,
Yeah, 7 to 9 is, I can see if they will extend that, we just have to tell them in advance due to the security issues.
Yeah.
6:30 to 9.
Yeah, 6.
6:30 to 9.
Yeah, and then we
It's not gonna be a
advertise
problem.
7 to
Yeah.
9.
yeah.
All
And
right,
that's for all 3 meetings.
I think we only need that for the workshop. I think we could
The
do the
10.
zoning 101 and
Okay.
the process.
Because we're not gonna really take many, well,
It's not gonna be-
Rory, we're not gonna take many questions. We shouldn't during those 2 presentations. It's a presentation.
Yeah.
yes,
Right.
yes.
I'd like to take a little piece of turn on, I guess, if you, it's solid. And so.
I'll make sure I'll heckle you if we're talking about that.
That's,
Okay. Bring popcorn.
That's a lot of
Cherry's there also.
That's some great ones. All right,
Fantastic.
tomatoes will definitely be coming.
That's right.
All right, so we talked about some of the details or a lot of the details of zoning 101 meetings. As of now, are there any details we should lock in besides awareness for the 10-10 public workshop? I don't think so. I just want to throw that out there for folks because we're going to start advertising. I mean, it's all going to be on Chris. We have some ideas. Maybe we have the hoods parked out, and then we can talk about logistics and what he wants to do. But I just want to throw it out. I don't think so. There's any specifics, but
For 10-10.
yeah,
The stakeholders. So I sent around the lists at prior meetings
Yeah.
a long time ago. And just, if you have an idea who should be a stakeholder for the 10-10 meeting,
I am,
have a list.
Anybody-
Starting in a note.
including myself, is happy to blast out an email for like awareness. I just need names and email addresses because titles I don't know everybody, so I can't really work with that. So if I have names or email addresses, I can add to whoever I blasted out the email for the village tour and those in meeting with Chris, just add on to that list and keep it growing.
Got the database right in there.
So if anybody, I think that goes with anybody, and I'll ask Darvin as well, because I think Darvin may have some contacts. In the BPA, or EPA, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Let's get that else.
yeah, there should be like 5,000.
I mean,
that list.
you would think there's gotta be. Or actually, you know what? Because we reach out to Darvin, okay. Yeah, I think whoever Darvin works, whoever the VP of that, I spoke with them not too long ago. And they got the word out too.
Actually, there's somebody that says on workforce for Channel 10. He's
Well, if you find out, send them our way.
Cultivating.
it's very
I-
possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's the channel
All right,
that I've seen.
I don't think there's anything we have to talk about for this 11-7 tabletop exercise.
Not yet.
Yeah, I think we need, that's TBD on the road. Do we want to spend 10 minutes and go through that last section? Or the remaining time in the last section?
I don't even know what the deal was.
No, I don't know. It was, but I'm accomplished, not enough time.
And I'm trying to get the books open.
Yeah, I don't even know what section that was. What did we
It's
get?
the last- the last one.
12? What was it? Supplemental uses, not farm uses enforcement.
Oh, we're going into enforcement. That's what we're,
Use enforcement, yeah.
and yeah, building permits.
205-67. Oh, that big section?
Yeah,
67 through 73?
yeah, no, there's not. Something
Do we want to table that for next time? And I'll just tell Chris that's coming.
Because that's a-
Because it's 6:20 is our next meeting. So we can make that. All right, so that'll be the first order of business on 6/20. Will be to go through 2567 through 2573.
Just a quick question, I missed it, probably stupid, but the tabletop exercise we're gonna do, so he's gonna have the code pretty much written, or?
By the end of this month, it was promised.
No, he's gonna do a diagnostic analysis of what we have and provide that. He wants public input. We did talk about when he was here, talking about switching some dates around because he wanted to get more public input first before he gets that framework. And I initially requested to get it up front because I don't want him burning through all our cash. And we don't like what he puts in front of us now. We're out of cash and we gotta go fight that battle. And we don't have what we need yet. He assured us that there'll be plenty of cash afterwards if we go through the tabletop if we need to make adjustments. That's what he says. Let's see what transpires.
So he's gonna get the table and stuff to us before we do this tabletop, and that's what
From October 10th,
right, so. it's
then
saying-
he's gonna provide the draft at the next, he said he thought he could do it in like 3 or 4 weeks. So that it'll be tight,
Yeah,
potentially.
cause then we gotta go through it, all of us to look at it.
So that's,
Draft. You do,
We
draft
thought it was
recommendations.
scheduled for August.
I think that might be the diagnostic.
No,
No.
I thought the diagnostic,
Oh, no, that's
This
later
month.
this month. Yeah.
the end of this month,
Diagnostic, yes.
but we haven't gotten him all the information either.
right? It doesn't matter.
End of diagnostic, end of June, public workshop. Last week, moved on the calendar here. The public workshops, July and August, one of their info sessions, July and August. Draft recommendations, interactive, that will be beginning in November. Same time with the tabletop exercises.
Yeah, so that's what I have. That's what I have in the minutes here too. With public workshop in October, a draft could be available as soon as early November.
We can't do the tabletop.
Yeah.
Unless we've gone through that draft.
Right.
It just wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah. All right, I'll raise that with Chris.
I think we were, at that point, we were also just concerned about going deeper into November
Yeah,
and then December with holidays, but maybe.
Yeah, that was the concern, that's right.
but I think though. Planning and zoning, it'd be hard for us to. Really do what you want us to do without, I'd have to look at.
Right, yeah,
And then we're gonna.
maybe we could do the tabletop just a week later, if we could still reserve this space on the 14th. And just give ourselves a little breathing room.
That might work too, Jared, that's a good idea. I mean, Lori, am I right? You don't want to sit down and go through that, whatever. you like, so-
I'm thinking about it in this context, if I understand the tabletop, it's an exercise to apply what. Potential new zoning to that your case. We've got a dozen cases, we don't need it to write.
No, he's not.
No, the new framework, the new
He's just
approach,
gonna
the new
provide
zoning
what-
regs
What
themselves.
zoning could be.
Okay, fair enough, but I mean, I think we could then, if we were to select a case. Right, if you don't, and it's his out, apply to it. Different means no.
Yes.
You have to see this.
That's true.
Stop.
Give us your time.
How about this? I'll ask him to join on the 20th, we can ask him then.
That's a good idea.
Or we could narrow it down in terms of type of case we might have to go over. And say, give us this piece.
Define the use case to see, yeah, if we can run it through the.
Make it more efficient.
And there's a lot of questions about fire safety, and we have decided that you need to be the one to answer all of those questions.
All right, so I will reach out to Chris on, actually, this is a good question. I'll reach out to ask if Chris is going to attend the 20th. We can pose this question to him at that time. I'll also think.
So you have a few questions, for Chris,
Yes.
coming to the 2020 year.
The enforcement, so what is that?
Yeah, it's all the sticky stuff.
Yeah.
I got 3 questions.
So it's 2 and 5, 6, 12.
June 20th, attending the zoning 101s. And then.
205, 67.
Well, this is your choice.
Seven.
Oh, the.
Seven.
Advertising piece.
Be attending this next ag meeting.
I don't know. That's yours.
6:20.
I can make copies. They are probably like copies.
Chris.
You have it.
It's
Email today.
And anything else from that meeting or that month?
If you don't have it, we're asking for
To see the recommendation ready in time for tabletop development turnaround.
Just have to start work, things like that. They matter or try to say it's work.
All right, so before we break forum here, Jen, is there anybody on Zoom that has a question?
So it's just 2 days.
Hearing none. Liz, do you have any questions? Okay.
I was gonna say, you guys
Jen-
told me that someone was gonna log in remotely. I've been
No.
checking the whole meeting and nobody was there,
All
so.
right, well,
Ditches that surgery, right? So.
it's true.
Those hydros are working.
I just said John Shares company.
Okay, perfect.
Can't read someone, you know, it's John Shea.
Okay. All right, anything else?
I won't be here on the 20th, just so.
You will not be here. Okay.
Not be on.
But
So you'd be on,
Spectrum Community News
Yeah.
Community Calendar though, right? You're gonna,
Yeah, she
Yes,
said
I
she-
am.
okay.
I'm gonna apply for Jared, I'm gonna look at the flyer, put that information on. Tractor.
Yeah,
Jared, you send it to all of us.
I'm gonna try to send it out to everyone by noon tomorrow.
I'll make copies too, and I'll just like Tuesday, Thursday, just go down there and put some on the table. Come around, right?
Yeah.
Just drop them. That's it.
Well, I'm gonna plan to go tomorrow night, so.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. We appreciate you being here, for helping us out.
Perfect.
Good night, guys. See you next time.
Thanks, Jen.
I just had.